A rifle bought for $275 turning into $18,500 prize sounds crazy, but it is happening right now. And it's not just one gun. The market is giving huge returns on rifles nobody ever expected. The 10 rifles we are about to talk about hide secrets that could change everything for collectors. Starting with number 10, we have Springfield 1903 Mark I Peterson device cut. The United States military produced and modified approximately 101,775 Model 1903 Mark I rifles to accept the Peterson device. This experimental mechanism converted the bolt-action rifle into a semi-automatic FAL. The United States military contracting .30 caliber pistol cartridges. The Mark I designation identifies rifles machined with an ejection port on the left side of the receiver to accommodate the device. Engineers cut a distinctive rectangular ejection port on the left side of the receiver, but the exact dimensions vary slightly and are not officially standardized. The modification also included a revised sear and cutoff mechanism. Production of the Peterson device itself totaled approximately 65,000 units, but the armistice-ending World War I eliminated the perceived need. The military destroyed most devices during the 1930s, with fewer than 100 surviving in collections. The Mark I rifles remained in inventory, serving throughout the 1920s and 1930s. Standard Model 1903 rifles without the Peterson cut sell for $800 to $1,500, depending on condition and manufacturer. Mark I rifles command $2,500 to $5,000, based solely on the receiver modification, even without the device itself. Collectors verify Mark I designation through the ejection port cut and Mark I stamping on the receiver. The left side ejection port distinguishes these rifles immediately from standard production. Complete Peterson devices with documentation have sold for $25,000 to $50,000 at specialized auctions, but Mark I rifles alone represent accessible entry into this specialized collecting category. Market data from 2024 indicates Mark I values appreciated 180% from 2010. At number 9, we have Israeli Mauser Car 98K. German military production of the Carabiner 98K occurred from 1935 through 1945, totaling approximately 14 million units. Post-war acquisition by Israel began during the 1948 Arab-Israeli conflict, with Czech and other sources supplying weapons. Israeli armories refinished and remarked German Kar 98K rifles, stamping them with Hebrew markings. Many Israeli Kar 98K rifles began in 7.92 by 57 mm, but Israel rebarreled large numbers to 7.62 by 51 mm NATO during the 1950s for continued service. Standard German Kar 98Ki rifles without Israeli markings sell for $800 to $2,000 depending on manufacturer and condition. Israeli marked examples command $1,500 to $3,500. Rifles retaining both German wartime markings and Israeli service stamps represent the most desirable configuration. The combination documents continuous military service across 2 nations and multiple conflicts. The Israeli Defense Forces used these rifles extensively during the 1948 war and subsequent operations before transitioning to FN FAL rifles. Collectors verify Israeli service through Hebrew markings typically found on receivers, barrels, and stocks. The Star of David stamp appears on many examples. Import restrictions on military surplus have tightened substantially, reducing availability. Market analysis indicates Israeli Kar 98K values appreciated 240% from 2010 to 2024. Complete examples with matching numbers and clear markings command premiums at the upper end of the range. At number 8, we have FN FAL G series Pre-1968 import. Belgian manufacturer Fabrique Nationale produced FAL rifles at the Herstal facility, with U.S. imports occurring from the late 1950s through 1968. The G series refers to a specific group of about 1,800 to 1,900 rifles imported into the United States before 1968, later granted a special ATF exemption due to their otherwise machine gun classified receivers. The Gun Control Act of 1968 restricted further importation of military configuration rifles, creating a finite supply of pre-1968 imports. These rifles entered as semi-automatic variants chambered in 7.62 by 51 mm NATO with 20-round detachable magazines. Standard post-1968 Belgian FAL imports sell for $2,000 to $3,500. Pre-1968 G series examples command $3,500 to $6,500 depending on configuration and documentation. The pre-1968 import status creates legal distinctions that affect collector desirability. Century Arms, Springfield Armory, and other importers brought these rifles during the narrow import window. Original import documentation and specific serial number ranges verify pre-1968 status. The ventilated handguard and specific furniture distinguish early production. Belgian manufacture at Herstal represents superior quality compared to license-produced variants from other nations. Market data indicates pre-1968 G series FAL values appreciated 290% from 2010 to 2024. Complete examples with original accessories including magazines, slings, and manuals command $5,000 to $8,000. The 1968 import cutoff creates permanent scarcity that drives long-term appreciation. At number 7 we have Soviet SVT-40 sniper variant. The Soviet Union manufactured the Tokarev SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle from 1940 through 1945. Production totaled approximately 1.6 million units. Sniper variants received scope rails and 3.5 power PU optics. The sniper configuration featured selected rifles demonstrating superior accuracy during factory testing. Estimates suggest sniper variants comprised a small share of production, totaling about 51,700 rifles, not as high as 80,000. Standard SVT-40 rifles without sniper configuration sell for $1,200 to $2,500. Sniper variants with original scope mounts command $4,500 to $9,000. Complete examples retaining original PU scopes sell for $6,000 to $12,000. The scarcity reflects post-war actions by Soviet armories, which removed scopes and modified many sniper rifles to standard configuration. Captured German forces used SVT-40 sniper rifles extensively on the Eastern Front, documented through period photographs and reports. Collectors verify sniper configuration through scope rail mounting points on the left side of the receiver. Serial number matching between rifle and scope increases value substantially. Import restrictions implemented in 2014 halted Russian military surplus, creating permanent scarcity. Market analysis shows SVT-40 sniper values appreciated 385% from 2010 to 2024. The combination of limited production, post-war modifications, reducing surviving examples, and import restrictions drives continued appreciation. At number 6, we have M1C Garand sniper. The United States military developed the M1C sniper variant during World War II, featuring a Griffin and Howe scope mount attached to the left side of the receiver. The M1 Garand base rifle received modifications, including the mount, and M73 or M84 scope. Production totaled about 7,971 World War II era M1C rifles, with additional Korean War conversions bringing the total to roughly 12,000 $700 to $13,000, not $14,000. Standard M1 Garand rifles sell for $1,200 to $2,500 through the Civilian Marksmanship Program and private sales. M1C sniper variants with original mounts and scopes command $4,000 to $8,500. Complete examples with period-correct M84 scopes, leather scope covers, and documentation sell for $6,000 to $12,000. The Griffin and Howe mount attaches via a specific mounting block fitted to the rifle. Authenticity verification requires examining serial numbers, mount configuration, and component matching. Post-war rebuilds complicate authentication as armories modified some M1C rifles during depot-level maintenance. Collectors prioritize rifles with documented World War II or Korean War service without post-service modifications. The M1D variant, produced in greater numbers with a different mounting system, commands lower premiums. Market data indicates M1C values appreciated 320% from 2010 to 2024. The limited production numbers and specialized configuration drive sustained collector demand. At number 5, we have Swiss K31 with troop tag. Switzerland manufactured the K31 straight-pull bolt-action rifle from 1933 through 1958, producing approximately 528,000 units. Each rifle shipped with a troop tag documenting the soldier's name, unit assignment, and service dates. Standard K31 rifles without troop tags sell for $600 to $1,200. Rifles retaining original troop tags command $900 to $1,800. Tags documenting service in specialized units, including mountain troops, artillery units, or specific regiments, increase values to $1,200 to $2,500. The troop tag, typically stored in the buttstock compartment, provides documented provenance connecting the rifle to specific military service. Swiss military doctrine emphasized individual soldier responsibility for assigned weapons, creating detailed documentation unusual among military forces. Tags printed on cardstock include handwritten entries in German, French, or Italian, depending on the soldier's canton. Collectors research unit histories, verifying prestigious assignments that increase values. Import restrictions on Swiss military surplus tightened after 2015, creating scarcity. The Swiss military transitioned to the SIGSG 550, releasing K31 stocks that have since been exhausted. Market analysis shows K31 values with troop tags appreciated 410% from 2010 to 2024. Complete documentation, including discharge papers or photographs of the soldier with the rifle, increases values substantially. The combination of Swiss manufacturing quality, documented service history, and import restrictions drives sustained appreciation. At number 4, we have Hakim rifle, Egyptian licensed AG-42B, Egypt licensed Swedish AG-42B rifle production from 1954 through 1965, manufacturing approximately 70,000 Hakim rifles chambered in 7.92 by 57 mm Mauser. The gas-operated semi-automatic design features a tilting bolt and direct impingement system. The Hakim served Egyptian military forces through the 1950s and 1960s, before replacement by Soviet-supplied weapons. Swedish manufacturer Carl Gustaf Stad's Gevärsfaktori provided technical assistance for Egyptian production at Maadi. Standard Hakim rifles in average condition sell for $600 to $1,200. Examples in excellent condition with original finish command $1,500 to $3,000. Mint condition rifles with all matching numbers and complete accessories sell for $2,500 to $5,000. The substantial weight, approximately 10 pounds, and complex gas system limited commercial popularity When imports occurred during the 1990s and 2000s, collectors initially overlooked Hakim rifles, focusing on more popular designs. Recent appreciation reflects recognition of Swedish engineering excellence and Egyptian production quality. The direct impingement system predated similar adoption in the AR-15 platform. Import restrictions on Egyptian military surplus have tightened, and remaining stocks have been exhausted. Market data indicates mint condition Hakim values appreciated 465% from 2010 to 2024. The combination of limited production, excellent engineering, and growing collector recognition drives current values. At number 3, we have FG-42, Fallschirmjäger Gewehr 42. German forces developed the FG-42 specifically for Fallschirmjäger paratroop units during World War II. Production occurred in two major variants. The Type 1, manufactured from 1942 through 1943, totaled approximately 2,000 units. The Type 2, manufactured from 1943 through 1945, totaled approximately 7,000 units. Combined production of both types reached approximately 9,000 rifles, making the FG-42 among the rarest military rifles produced during the war. The select fire capability, stamped steel construction, and side-mounted magazine distinguished the design. Chambered in 7.92 by 57 mm Mauser, the rifle features a 20-round detachable magazine and bipod. The innovative design influenced post-war developments, including the M60 machine gun. Original FG-42 rifles registered as transferable under the National Firearms Act sell for $250,000 to $450,000 depending on variant and condition. Semi-automatic reproductions manufactured during the 2000s sell for $4,000 to $8,000. The extreme scarcity reflects limited wartime production and post-war losses. Allied forces captured few examples, and many were destroyed or lost. Museums and advanced collectors hold most surviving originals. Market transactions occur infrequently, with documented sales establishing values. The FG-42 represents the pinnacle of German wartime small arms development, combining features rarely integrated in a single weapon. At number 2, we have L-42 A1 sniper rifle. The L-42 A1 is one of the most respected and historically significant sniper rifles ever used by British forces. It originated as the Lee Enfield number 4 MKIT, already known for excellent accuracy during World War II. Between 1970 and 1993, selected number 4 MKIT rifles were rebuilt into the L-42A1 configuration. Each conversion included a new heavy barrel chambered in 7.62 by 51 mm NATO, updated wooden furniture, and scope pads compatible with the number. 32 Mk3 optic used on earlier sniper models. Only about 1,080 rifles were converted, a number widely accepted by historians and collectors. The L-42A1 served with elite units such as the Special Air Service, Royal Marines, and various infantry sniper teams. For more than 2 decades, it was the United Kingdom's primary precision rifle. It saw active service in the Falklands War and during operations in Northern Ireland, where reliability and consistency were essential. By the early 1990s, it was replaced by the Accuracy International L-96, closing the chapter on the Lee Enfield sniper line. Modern availability is extremely limited. Standard Lee Enfield No. 4 rifles generally sell in the range of a few hundred to slightly over $1,000, depending on condition. The L-42A1, however, appears at much higher levels because of its rarity and service history. Correct examples often trade in the $8,000 to $15,000 range, while complete sets with original number, 32 scopes, scope tins, and transit chests can reach higher prices, sometimes moving into the low $20,000 territory. These figures reflect broad market trends, not fixed valuations or formal appreciation percentages. Most L-42 A1 rifles were released by the British Ministry of Defense through controlled disposal programs. Many stayed within Britain or moved to Commonwealth countries, leaving very few available in the United States. Estimates suggest fewer than 100 complete rifles may exist in American private collections, though no registry confirms an exact number. Strict import and export rules also limit the movement of surviving examples, helping maintain their long-term scarcity. Authenticating an L-42 A1 requires attention to detail. Collectors look for correct conversion markings, matching serial numbers on major components, and proper British proof marks. Some rifles show arsenal repairs from their long service life, and distinguishing between legitimate military work and non-authentic modifications is essential. Because of its limited production, combat record, and strong historical identity, the L-42 A1 remains one of the most coveted sniper rifles in the collecting world. Finally, at number 1, we have Colt Model 601. The Colt Model 601 stands as the earliest military production version of the AR-15 platform, representing a major turning point in U.S. small arms development. Produced from 1959 to 1963, the Model 601 was the first AR-15 variant purchased by the U.S. military, primarily for Air Force security and specialized units. Unlike later M16 series rifles, the 601 featured several early pattern characteristics, including a 3-prong flash hider, no forward assist, green or brown fiberglass-style furniture, and an early charging handle design located inside the carry handle. More than 14,000 Model 601 rifles were produced, a far higher number than earlier misconceptions suggested. In the modern collector market, transferable NFA registered Model 601 rifles are among the most prized AR-15 variants. Prices vary widely depending on originality, historical documentation, and mechanical condition. Many examples fall into the $35,000 to $65,000 range, with rifles accompanied by solid Air Force provenance, sometimes moving into the mid-$40,000 to $75,000 area. These numbers are approximate trends rather than official valuations, as NFA prices fluctuate based on scarcity, individual collector interest, and overall market activity. Few Model 601s left military control. So much of the current supply comes from estate collections or long-held private inventories because of the platform's influence, directly shaping the M16, M4, and countless later designs. Early features are heavily scrutinized. Collectors examine serial numbers, selector markings, flash hider profile, early bolt carrier patterns, and furniture color to verify authenticity. True, 601 rifles seldom appear on the open market, and those that do typically bring strong competition. As the first fully accepted military AR-15, the Model 601 holds unmatched historical significance. It represents the earliest phase of Eugene Stoner's design entering real service and laid the groundwork for one of the most influential rifle families in modern history. These rifles, along with the others on the list, show how rarity, military service, and technical evolution shape long-term collector interest. Understanding these factors allows collectors to appreciate details hidden beyond outward appearance.